Mazda CEO. Our new rotary engine will destroy the entire EV industry. When we talk about EVs most of the time, you get to know about Tesla, GM, Ford, or Rivian. Quite recently, many Chinese EV makers are making huge inroads too. But could you ever think that Mazda could do anything that would take them to the spotlight? Yes, Mazda is gearing up to rewrite the rules of the game with a revolutionary rotary engine technology that promises to not just compete, but to reshape the landscape entirely. The story of Mazda's special engine began with a man named Felix Wankel from Germany in 1990. Even though he didn't know much about engineering, he wanted to make a better gasoline engine. He came up with a unique idea of using a rotating triangle part inside a peanut-shaped space to improve how the engine works. The former CEO of Mazda, Tsuneji Matsuda, saw the potential in this idea and teamed up with a company called NSU Motorwork to make this engine for cars that people could buy. This led to famous cars like the Mazda Cosmo RX-7 and RX-8, which were known for being different and fun to drive. Now, Mazda is bringing back the rotary engine, but this time they're focusing on making it more efficient and better for the environment. As Yoshiaki Noguchi, assistant manager of Mazda's powertrain development division, said, "Rotary is our symbol." Mazda's got something cool to talk about. The Mazda MX-30 REV. They've shaken things up with this model by going from usual dual rotor engine to a single rotor design. It might have slightly lower revs and power, but fret not, Mazda's got your back. They've juiced up the engine by adding direct fuel injection right into the combustion chamber. This tweak makes for better fuel burning, efficiency, and fewer emissions, which is a big deal in the world of rotary engines. In the past 50 years, they've churned out over 2 million Wankel rotary engines, more than any other car maker. Now, they're bringing the rotary engine back in the Mazda MX-30 REV, a plug-in hybrid version of the MX-30 electric SUV. But here's the twist. The rotary engine in this setup isn't driving the wheels directly. Instead, it's working as a power generator. Mazda insists it's all about practicality, not just nostalgia. You might have caught a glimpse of the Mazda MX-30 REV at the 2023 Brussels Motor Show. The rotary engine's design is all about keeping it simple and easy to slot in with other parts, like batteries, generators, and fuel storage. It fits snugly alongside the electric motor, decelerator, and generator in a unit less than 840 millimeters wide. The MX-30 REV is the only Mazda Sky active vehicle that plays host to this rotary engine. Now, the engineers at Mazda had some really good ideas when setting up the rotary engine. At first, they thought about running it at a constant speed like a generator, but they decided to switch it up based on how you drive and capture that unique Mazda feel. The engine speed can vary, making for smooth acceleration and reliability. It maxes out at 4,500 RPM and goes down to about 2,000 RPM. It cranks out 74 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and a solid 170 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. Unlike the old rotary engines that screamed like banshees, this one offers smoother and more predictable power. This compensates for the car's lighter weight when compared to the pure electric Mazda MX-30. Even when the rotary engine kicks in, the MX-30 REV feels like an EV thanks to the steady power supply from the electric motor. Plus, the rotary engine purrs along smoothly without any pesky vibrations, giving you consistent and snappy acceleration. Mazda faced some serious challenges in developing this new rotary engine. They needed to make it lighter, more fuel efficient, and super reliable. The old Mazda RX-8 motor had two separate combustion chambers, each with a 654cc size. The new 8C engine is sleeker, with a trochoid curve producing a 120mm radius and a rotor housing width of 76mm. It's even got side openings for air intake and exhaust. And get this, the new MX-30 REV engine is over 15 kilograms lighter than its Renaissance predecessor, thanks to the use of aluminum for the side housing. Plus, the implementation of direct fuel injection made this rotary engine better and helped it work more efficiently. With this, the engine polluted less because it spread the fuel and air evenly. This made the car use less fuel, up to 25% less. Also, the injection method stopped fuel from being wasted. They added a system called exhaust gas recirculation, or EGR, that reused exhaust gases to sustain the engine's temperature and reduce greenhouse emissions when the car was going slow or carrying heavy loads. It also helps to reduce the amount of nitrogen nitrogen oxide, which is bad for the environment and our health. Noguchi said, "They are naturally good on nitrous oxide emissions due to the lower combustion temperatures. It's carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons that are more of an issue, so we focused our attention on cutting emissions of these." The Mazda MX-30 REV features an 8C engine with an impressive 11.9:1 compression ratio, achieved through apex seal optimization, sidewall pressure increase, widened apex seals, strengthened trochoids plating, aluminum housing sides, and high-velocity oxygen fuel coating to reduce wear and friction, ensuring minimal oil consumption. Now when it comes to the battery, it's got a 17.8 kilowatt-hour battery, which is half the size of the standard MX-30's 35.5 kilowatt-hour battery. Mazda made this decision after some serious number crunching, trying to balance the cost of the Rotary petrol engine. The result? An electric range of 85 kilometers under the WLTP standard, which is actually quite generous for a car this size. Add a 50-liter fuel tank to the mix, and Mazda claims you'll be able to go over 640 kilometers before you need to refuel. The idea here is to use electricity for your daily commute and rely on the rotary generator for those longer road trips. Now that's not all. Let's not forget about its single rotor design. With its EGR system, balances both performance and eco-friendliness. Aluminum side housings lighten the engine, while a plasmic ceramic coating enhances durability and reduces friction. Moreover, this rotary engine serves as a range extender, generating power for the battery or inverter rather than directly propelling the wheels. Still, it's an impressive piece of technology. Now, if you're wondering how this Wankel rotary engine actually works, it's a bit different from your typical piston engine. Instead of pistons, it uses triangular-shaped rotors that move around on a shaft inside a special housing. The engine goes through the intake, compression, ignition, and exhaust phases, just like a regular engine. The rotor makes space for air and fuel to come in, squeezes the mixture, ignites it with 2 spark plugs, and the resulting boom pushes the rotor thanks to chamber expansion. Then it kicks out the exhaust gases, and this cycle keeps on repeating. The standard feature of a Wankel rotary engine is its simplicity, having far fewer moving parts compared to piston engines. A single rotor rotary engine has only 2 moving parts, the rotor and the eccentric shaft. Even a 2-rotor rotary engine has just 3 moving parts, 2 rotors and the eccentric shaft. Mazda previously thought about using a BMW car as an example, which has a small gas engine that can make electricity. However, they decided to use a different kind of car, with a battery and a gas engine together. Now, why did they end up choosing the rotary engine over electric cars? Well, the rotary engine is very quiet and smooth, just like electric cars, thanks to its faster thermodynamic cycle completion in 360 degrees and the smooth motion of the rotor. You can rev it up high without causing too much vibration, so when you drive, it can easily switch between the battery and the engine without you noticing. It's also smaller and lighter than regular car engines, so it can give the car more distance to travel on a single charge, up to 50% more. And it has other good things too, like being safer in a crash, making more space inside the car, and using less oil and coolant, which is better for the environment. They think it can go up to 600 miles on one charge. They want to start selling this car with the special engine in 2025, and it will cost around $35,000. They also want most of their cars to have some kind of electric power, like hybrid cars, and are even looking into using other kinds of fuel, like propane. The MX-30 REV is supposed to be sold in Europe and Japan, maybe in North America as well. Last year, they sold about 10,000 electric cars in Europe. The CEO of Mazda Europe, Martin ten Brink, thinks the MX-30 REV will be more popular because it's easier to use with both electric and gas. So do you think rotary engines can still compete in the age of EVs? What are your thoughts on this bold statement? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the future of automotive tech. Thanks for watching.